All right, this question of the week comes on my thoughts on a recent social media post by Tom DeBlas, who he runs a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu school out of New Jersey. He's a very accomplished Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt, as well as an MMA fighter and just competitor, and he's trained some of the best fighters in the world. And he said something that really resonated with me and caused me to relook the advice that I've given over the years, because there's a tried and true piece of advice that parents and families have given their children, or even that we give adults, that, you know, never throw the first punch, but make sure you throw the last punch. And what Tom said, I'll read a copy of his post. He said, "I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Stop telling your children never to throw the first punch. I don't care what the school says. I can't tell you how many times I've seen fights end with just one punch. Those who say never throw the first punch know absolutely nothing about violence. Teach your children that their personal space is not to be invaded. Let no one approach in an aggressive manner and get within arm's reach. Give a verbal warning to back up. If that warning is met with deaf ears, smash their face in." And man, you know, I read it and reread it, and I thought about it, and I said, man, you know, Tom is right. You know, one, especially for kids who are being bullied, oftentimes the aggressor, the bully, already has a physical advantage, whether they're bigger, stronger, more athletic. You know, they, for whatever reason, they've chose to bully that child. And if you allow them to take the first punch, chances are you're not going to win that fight, you know. And as Tom said, I've seen a lot of fights end with just one punch. It's like, man. And even if the fight doesn't end with that punch, you know, you get your bell rung, you could be dazed, and the aggressor has a huge advantage. And so I agree with Tom, you know, teach our kids, and not just kids. I also give this advice to adults. You know, like you have, like, when I talk to the kids, I talk about spidey senses. Like you have a sense of, like, when somebody's getting ready to bring violence to you. Sometimes it's based off previous behavior. Sometimes it's just based off a vibe that they're giving. And you tell that person, hey, you know, let's stay back, you know, and they decide to close in on you. Trust your senses. They're getting ready to rock your bell. And the thing is even as a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt, a guy could, you know, he could be overweight, out of shape, ain't had a fight since middle school, walking around, and man, if he can hit me with an unblocked haymaker and it lands, he might knock me out and win that fight. And so you can't just allow yourself to take these blows without protecting yourself. And so I thought it was a really powerful message that Tom gave, and that's advice that I'm going to give from this moment on. It's like, hey, do not allow, you know, that person to invade your space and not step up and defend yourself. Because if you allow them to take the first punch, it could go badly for you. So that's the answer to this week's question of the week. Got a question for next week? Feel free to fire below. And any insights and comments you got about this question of the week, man, I'd enjoy to hear your insights. Until then, ciao.